Waters and Reynolds off the front row. Davison and Van Gisbergen off row 2. Another glittering day in Darwin. Yesterday, Di Pasquale claimed the points. Now it's a big chance for the guys off the front row. Reynolds versus Waters. And Waters has got about an eighth of a car length lead at the moment as they run to one. The squeeze is on. David goes back to the race line. Cam holds him up high. Will Davison drops into third place, followed by Van Gisbergen. Reynolds has run very, very wide. He's a bit vulnerable there. So much so that he's actually lost the spot. Davison jumps to second.
Beautiful driving by Cam Waters to wheel him out wider and get a real run into turn 1. And now David Reynolds is being attacked by Van Gisbergen into turn 5.
And Van Gisbergen was having a sniff on to go on the outside at turn 5 to displace Reynolds into the hairpin. He didn't get away with it. A car rotating violently in the middle of turn 6, and it's clean bowled and skittled about 4 or 5 cars. Now, I think it was a WAU car that I saw rotating initially, or it might have been Courtney.
Boards and flags.
Safety car will be deployed. Massive damage to Courtney's car. I caught it out of the left side of frame. There was a car rotating on the grass in the braking area into the hairpin. So the BP Ultimate safety car has been deployed. That car, an awful mess. So it, in fact, might have been this car that I saw and not a WAU car. Just caught a glimpse of colour. Wow, that's a violent incident up there in the braking area. There's always congestion on the opening lap here. A lot of it at 1, 5 and 6. And sadly, Scott Pye with substantial damage for the second time in 3 race meetings in the Team 18 car number 20. So Courtney out and safely in the hands of the medical team. Sam Scafidi, engineer at Tickford, requires no words to describe what he's thinking. And one of the truck assist cars is smoking heavily on the front straight here, as well as the field comes under the control of the safety car.
So I wonder how that started, because you picked up on a car spinning. It does look like that was James Courtney, but when you looked at Randall, Pye, and there was another, oh, look at that car crabbing down the road into pit lane, so significant damage there for Thomas Randall also. Let's have a look in the back of screen.
Okay, so James has gone off the road and then literally lobbed into the pack and skittled a bunch of other cars, including Randall and Pye. Does this tell more of the story?
But I think what's happened is it's so wet because of the moisture on the grass.
Race has been suspended.
And so James Taylor, the race director, suspending the race until they can get all these cars recovered and the debris off the road. So Todd Hazelwood's the other car. The clutch drama yesterday, ran the race without a clutch.
Oh. So yes, he got a bump for sure, but then he's spinning, then you're out of control, and he's made contact with other cars in racing direction. So he's come straight across from turn 4 and has gone to 5 on the exit then of 6, and the rejoin has made contact with a significant number of cars. That's why all those other cars were spinning off to the right-hand side on the exit of 6.
So it's taken 2 Tickford cars out in the process.
And the grass outfield has been wet this morning, so that didn't assist with the out-of-control nature of Courtney spinning through that infield. He might have made contact with the last one of those tyre bundles. They're about 4 tonne, and that's what probably caused the initial damage. This is music to the ears of Cam Waters as we go for the restart from the safety car. Back on with life. 35 laps remaining.
So those initial laps are counted if anyone's questioning that at home. So Reynolds ducks to the inside to cover from Van Gisbergen. The first 2 have got a little margin over the second group. Waters just wanders around the road. He's got to be a bit careful moving too many times left and right, but he's trying to dissuade Davison.
The problem with that is when they're all bunched up like this, you lose more spots. So when you've normally dragged out and you make the call like Feeney yesterday, he made a lot of ground. That was probably a good call. But when they're all compact and the field's as compact as it is, you lose a lot more on track.
It goes to show the subsequent laps after the safety car restart, Mark, that when they're line astern from a safety car restart perspective versus dropping the clutch and doing it from a standing start, it completely changes the complexion. It's actually brought the entire group much closer together if you blanket the whole field. At as much information as they could. Wow, that was tight between Brodie and Brock. And then Brock somehow must have run wide down here. Yeah, he does. So the distraction of actually dealing with all that just had him understeer wide. At least he didn't lock a brake and damage a tyre. This is the onboard from Feeney.
And this is also one of the things you've got to combat with fresh tyres on the rear. The rear of the car's got lots of grip and the front hasn't got so much grip. So straight away, the amount of understeer at the first corner has caught him out.
Yeah, the rear tyres have got a bigger say over proceedings initially. So Mark Winterbottom on screen here is in 6th. He's defending from Heimgartner, Mostert, Forward, Percat in 10th position. He's going to expose himself to the inside of the corner. Shane's rattling on the left rear quarter. And it's going to be on when they get up here into turn 5. He's right under the back of the car, has a plunge down the inside, gets it back into second gear, turns it in, hits his spot and pops out the other side. +1.
Nicely constructed pass. All started with the lunge down there at turn 1. Jack ran a little bit too wide and he was able then to capitalise on the track position and fire down the inside into turn 5. That's as nice as you'll ever see in terms of an overtake manoeuvre. The number in terms of pace, David was the 8th fastest car on the previous lap. Reynolds this time is the 9th fastest car. So down the inside, that's the replay of the manoeuvre from Mostert. We saw it come out with fresher tyres, straight down the inside. He just gets it pulled up. Andre Heimgartner did a nice job not to turn down on him there. We often see when there's contact, and Reynolds and De Pasquale are in.
Keep coming, come across now,
And
please.
here we go. And De Pasquale's he's made ground on Reynolds on the way in for sure. Loaded
We're
side.
doing 3.
Oh, 3. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did I miss? I think you do the right front corner as well.
I didn't see it either, but he's
Four
done
cold
4.
tires,
Yeah.
4 cold tires.
Okay, 4.
Coming out probably just
So-
behind 6 Percat.
You don't want to be held up by any of these runners until you get to those more serious
Confirming
ones.
This will be a time certain finish. 1 lap after 12:53.
1 lap after 12:53, the confirmation from race control. So that'll effectively peel 1 lap out of the race. So it makes the equation for Reynolds just that little bit trickier to manage at the moment.
Just heard Ludo talk. He said, you know what Shane's trying to do to you? Trying to drag you back to Reynolds. There's big chunks of time, massive chunks of time.
Shane was very wide down there at turn 1 of what happened in Tasmania. A difficult run for him in Western Australia as well.
Personnel leader has commenced the last lap.
So race control confirming this is the last lap of the race. Can Waters hang on here? He's got it tucked in nicely on line through turn 1. He might just have enough in hand. The spread from 1st to 5th is now 3.6 seconds. That's Waters to Reynolds. And Van Gisbergen has skipped away now from De Pasquale. I think he's safely on the podium, Mark. And Reynolds is getting closer and closer now to the back of De Pasquale. Once again, Davison plunges down tight on the approach into the hairpin at turn 6, but he's got pace on the way in, but not so much on the way out.
Yeah, it's sort of a false sense of security, isn't it? The little lunge on the way in looks good at the start, but then you've got more turning to do later. So Cam Waters at the moment looks like he's going to be safe. Very well driven again.
It's a beautiful run for Cam Waters under a lot of pressure. He lines it up and plucks some gears. He heads off to the checkered flag and stitches together another victory. The 8th in his career, the first this weekend. Well done, Cam Waters. Missing out on the podium, De Pasquale and Reynolds. Here's the confirmation for you, and the margins pretty tight at the top. Only 1.8 seconds separated the top 3 cars. Reynolds, the big charge at the end. He got it down to 3.6 seconds off the lead, so a valiant effort. Jack Le Brocq, nice work for him in the truck assist entry in 6th. Winterbottom, Mostert, Heimgartner, Percat. I think Nick Percat will be pleased to see anything in the way of a top 10 result at the moment. Kostecki, Holdsworth, Feeney, Slade, Forward. There was some wild racing amongst that group of cars as Cam rolls into the Pertec victory lane.